On January 25th, 2013, a man named Curtis Green sat in a room with federal agents and handed over the administrator passwords to the biggest drug market on the internet. He was cooperating. He was trying to help. Within hours, that account was used to steal a fortune. Everyone assumed Curtis Green did it. The man who ran Silk Road assumed Curtis Green did it and put out an $80,000 contract on his life. Curtis Green didn't steal anything. The person who used those credentials was the United States Secret Service agent who was standing in the room when Green handed them over. This is the part of the Silk Road story almost nobody tells, and I think it's the most important part, because the lesson isn't about drugs, it isn't about the dark web, it's about what a privacy key to your wallet actually is. Two federal agents, same task force, both stealing from the case they were investigating. Everything here is from court filings, DOJ press releases, sentencing records. No speculation on my part or anyone else's, not a theory. Stay to the end. The way this ends is genuinely hard to believe. Let's start where the task force started. Silk Road was a dark web marketplace in the early 2010s, roughly from 2010 to 2013. Bitcoin was the payment rail. That's the whole reason that it could exist. It was run by someone calling himself Dread Pirate Roberts, DPR, or Ross Ulbricht. A Baltimore task force is assigned to it. DEA, Secret Service, IRS, Homeland Security, all involved. Two men on that task force matter for this story. Carl Mark Force IV is a DEA agent. Sean Bridges is a Secret Service agent, Baltimore field office. Remember both names. They're going to end up in the same courtroom. But the story starts with a third man, one who never stole anything. On January 17th, 2013, Curtis Green, a Silk Road administrator living in Utah, gets arrested. Force ran the sting, sent a kilogram of cocaine he never ordered. Agents come through the door. Green's laptop is open. He's logged in as an admin. January 25th, Green concedes and decides to cooperate and hands over his administrator credentials. Think about what that means. He didn't just give up a password. He gave up the keys to the whole building. And here's where it goes wrong. Not weeks later, that same afternoon. The same afternoon and evening, someone starts resetting vendor passwords and pins and draining accounts. Roughly $350,000 in Bitcoins at the prices of the day. It was Sean Bridges, the Secret Service agent. He moved into a personal investment account between March and May 2013. And by then it had appreciated to about $820,000. The DOJ later put his total at roughly 1,500 Bitcoin, worth about $10.4 million by the time he was sentenced. Now I want to stop for a second because this is the detail that people skip right past. He didn't hack anything. There was no exploit, no vulnerability, no 0-day, nothing clever. He was handed a credential as part of his job and he used it. The system worked exactly the way it was designed to. That's not a bug in the story. That's the whole story. But nobody knew that yet. And that's what turns a theft into something much worse. Put yourself in Dread Pirate Roberts' seat. He runs a drug marketplace. He just gave his trusted administrator the keys. Hours later, money's gone. Investigators questioned Green about the theft, accused him of being the one who did it. That's in the indictment. So DPR, Drug Pirate Roberts, reaches the obvious conclusion, and he's completely wrong. An innocent man got framed for a theft, not by a criminal, but by an investigator. And the person who believed the frame had already decided that people who steal from him don't get to walk away. So he goes looking for someone to handle it, and he already knows a guy. DPR wants Green not around anymore. He goes to a drug dealer, an enforcer he trusts online, someone he knows as Knob. Knob is Karl Mark Force IV, the DEA agent, undercover. The price, $80,000. He ordered a murder from a federal agent to punish a man for a theft committed by a second federal agent who was on the same task force. Now, the agents have a problem. Their target wants proof, so they make some. January 26, 2013, a Marriott suite in Utah, agents stage a torture scene. Green is held underwater. He's said an officer from Homeland Security was the one doing it. They simulate a beating. February 16th, the torture photos go to DPR. February 21st, the death photo. Green and his wife staged it themselves. The blood was chicken soup. Then Green has to stay hidden to keep the lie alive. As far as the internet is concerned, he's dead. He had to disappear from his own life to sell a murder that never happened because an agent stole money and let him take the blame for it. I want to pause the story here for a second because this is the whole reason that I make these. Every story on this channel will come down to the same handful of warning signs, and I've put them in a free one-page checklist, the 12 red flags, the ones that show up in almost every case I look at. It'll be the first link in the description. It's free, it takes 2 minutes, and it's a thing I put in front of everyone I care about. Okay, so back to it. Because both of these men got caught, and what happens after that is the part I still can't quite get over. Forrest wasn't only running Knob. In August of 2013, as Knob, he extorts about $50,000 of Bitcoin from Ulbricht, Dread Pirate Roberts, claiming he's got inside information on the investigation. In September of 2013, he invents a second identity, French-made, and sells DPR investigation details for about $98,000. He's selling the case he's assigned to twice under two names, the same target. He diverted the coins to his own accounts and told the DEA he had never been paid. It took about 2 years for all of this to come out, and in the fall of 2015, both of them stand in front of the same judge. October 2015, Karl Force is assigned 78 months in prison. Extortion, money laundering, obstruction of justice. The judge, Richard Seaborn from San Francisco, is going to also sentence Sean Bridges soon. The prosecutors wanted 87 months. The defense asked for 48. On December 7th of 2015, just 2 months later, Sean Bridges got 71 months, plus forfeiture of over $650,000. 2 federal agents, same task force, same case, both convicted. And that should be the end of it. But it isn't. Because there's about a year in there where Sean Bridges has already confessed and hasn't gone to prison yet. After Bridges signed his guilty plea, after he confessed, but before he reported to prison, he walked out of the Secret Service with a private key. He used it to take 1,606 more Bitcoin, about $395,000 at the time, straight out of the government wallet. And here's the part that gets me. That wallet held coins seized from the Bitstamp in a forfeiture auction, coins that had been illegally obtained by Karl Force, his own co-defendant. Bridges was the signer on that forfeiture. He signed the paperwork that seized them, then he stole them. He robbed the guy he went down with after he'd already pleaded guilty using a key he walked out the door with. Didn't last long. In November of 2017, he was sentenced to 2 more years consecutive. So why does a 13-year-old case about a dark web drug market matter to you today? Everybody says, not your keys, not your coins. And everybody thinks it's advice about exchanges. Don't leave it on Coinbase. Move it to a wallet. That's fine, and you should do it. But that's not what it means. A private key is not a password. A password has an owner. There's a person behind it, an account, a company, someone you can call. A private key has a holder. It doesn't know whose hands it's in, and it doesn't care. It just obeys. The United States government held those keys. Federal agents held those keys. Every safeguard you can imagine was on them. Clearances, oversight, chains of custody, a task force, and none of it mattered. Because at the moment of truth, the only question the network asks is, do you have the key? Yes or no? Sean Bridges walked out of a door with a key in his pocket, and the network did exactly what it was built to do. If a badge and a security clearance don't change that answer, a customer service line in an exchange definitely doesn't. And neither does the person in your DMs who seems really nice and really knowledgeable and just needs you to confirm one thing. Possession is the whole system, and that's the lesson. Checklist is in the description if you want it. So is my website. Next one is about a guy who lost $243 million in a single night, and his wallet was never even touched. I'll see you then.